Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Collective Consciousness Show with Colin Reich. This is episode number 38 with my guest and my friend that I've only known for a few months at this point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Only a few months.
Dahlia Neiser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it right.
Yeah. So this is exciting. It's weird because at work, you've been there like 6 months?
Yeah, 6 months.
Yeah. At You would think I'm good at making friends.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm great at making friends.
Yeah.
So I saw you and I was like, okay, whatever, like new person, but like we never really talked and I don't know what.
Brian. It had to have been Brian.
It probably was. It probably was Brian.
It was Brian.
I was the exact same way with Juan. We worked together for like over a year and we never talked. And then one day, like something happened and then we just started becoming good friends.
Yeah, Juan, he's amazing, but he's kind of hard to read. I feel like that also plays into it because like he'll joke around, but a lot of his jokes don't seem like he's actually joking. Like
he's very good at hiding that. Yeah. He's very good. I love Juan. He's great, but like he's good at like hiding his emotion in a situation and like joking versus not joking. It's like
100%, 100,000%.
It's a fine and Uncle Brian is the same way, but like he's different though.
Yeah.
He's a lot. He's like his sarcasm is like
through the roof. Yeah, I think he got mad at me at one point because like this customer was having issues with like their parents trying to pay for things, but like I don't know, it was a whole mess, and he just got really mad, and I was like, okay, so I don't talk to him anymore because I'm kind of scared too. Like, if someone doesn't like me, I'm clearly gonna back off. Like, I know when people don't like me and I'm not wanted, so I'm not gonna continue talking to someone if I'm not wanted, type.
Yeah, that makes sense. Boundaries.
But yeah, but everybody at work's really nice. I didn't have issues coming in, but like as I've gotten to know everyone, there's been a lot like more issues with like people.
I'm sure. Yeah,
because everybody, that's a problem, even with like not only with like work but with like school too. I feel like that's a big issue with like high school and like middle school and shit. I feel like everybody's so mean to each other because you're around them like all the time and you have nothing better to do than just like talk shit.
Yeah.
So like I feel
there's also so many different personalities, like like where we work, like, and that's like most restaurants, but like there's so many. There's everything from alcoholics to gambling addicts to crack addicts. I'm not gonna name names here, but
I'll ask you that after because I didn't know there was a gambling addict.
I mean, to some extent, but like there are so many different personalities. There's like it's just so diverse there, and so it's weird because like. We all mesh together pretty well.
That's what I was gonna say.
But when shit hits the fan, like nobody knows what to do because there's like nobody to like. There's no set leader. Like there's no like voice of reason. And even if there's a person that's like good at being the voice of reason, nobody's gonna listen to them because everyone's doing their own thing anyway.
Exactly. I feel like there's no real like. Like you said, I feel like there's no real leader. I feel like we're all in the same playing field, especially because like managers don't want to be rude. They want you to see them as like they're like equal, so you listen to them better. So I don't feel like there's a real like we know the rules and we stick to them. So like I feel like there's no real leader in like any situation.
No, not really.
Unfortunately, I feel like that'd be. No, I don't feel like that'd be helpful, but like, our bosses.
Yeah, it's interesting. I talk about when I have people on with work, I talk about work way too much. So I want to switch this up.
Heard. Okay.
So
go ahead.
What's your story?
What's my story? Oh good God.
I'm trying to think of a good question other than like tell me your life story. But like what makes you tick? Like
what makes me tick?
Like no, like who I don't know, like in that general area, like who are you?
Who am I?
Because we had that one conversation where we were like we were sitting down doing our checkout, and that's kind of where this started, to where we were like, let's do a podcast.
Oh my
and we
gosh.
we got like
Yeah.
we got like surface level personal, but
Yeah.
like, who are you? Like what? Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah.
I would say, okay. I want to like air out so much business, but like
air out whatever you want.
The problem is like I would, but I've had issues with it in the past because my dad is a business owner. So like if I do air out certain things and certain people see this, then that could be a slight issue.
Yeah. I can always cut it out.
Okay.
But it might be better for conversation purposes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I can always cut it out if you're like, hey, that probably wasn't good.
Yeah.
Just
okay. Life story. Heard. So basically, I was born in Florida, and my mother's bipolar and an addict, and his friend moved him out to Florida, and then he had me and he stopped, but my mother continued drinking and doing drugs. And he moved her out here where she had everyone in Florida, and then she got moved here and she had no one. So she got really depressed and like had a bunch of issues because she wouldn't take her meds, and she would like self-medicate. And that's like a thing I've seen a lot, like a lot. Like don't stop taking your meds and then do drugs. Just saying. That's just such a bad idea. But she started doing that, and she really hasn't been in my life. I've never lived with her. If I ever did live with her, she would be asleep on the couch, and I would like take care of my brother and stuff. So it's made me a very independent person. There's just so much like oh my gosh. Yeah, she's an interesting one, and she had many abusive relationships with that, which I saw, which was a big issue also. But I feel like what I've went through really shaped me into the person I am today. So I wouldn't take it back, but like I kind of would. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of that. There's been a lot of other types of like abuse and stuff like that, and it's just really damaged my relationships with actual people, like a lot. Like men is a big issue. I can't be in a room. I used to be like this. I'm not like this anymore, but I clearly, because I'm here, but I used to not be able to be alone in a room with man except for my father. Like if my grandfather was in the room alone with me, I would start crying and have a panic attack. Yeah, no, it was really, really bad. And they didn't do anything wrong. It was just like what happened to me and what shaped me. And like I also had this really I think I need to go to the doctor for some of my stuff. I think I've never really addressed it because I've been raised by my dad, and he's more of a like therapists aren't a real thing, and like medicine isn't real type person. You know, most men are like kind of against that stuff. They don't like actually
that's
like
typical like
express their emotions, like typical alpha male. So I'm like, so I haven't really addressed a lot of the issues I had, but when I was younger, I also had a severe anxiety that my dad would get killed in any social setting. If he was like around any sort of person, if I saw them reach into their pocket or like do anything like that, I would start crying and say we had to leave. Wow. And I would never tell him why. Never told him why. But like we were on a ghost tour with my friend Maddie, and some guy, I think he was on drugs, but like who cares really? But he started reaching into his pocket, and I told Maddie, I was like, this ghost tour is too scary for me. We have to leave. And she knew about it, and she was like, it's not the ghost tour, is it? And I was like, no. So like I've had a lot of anxiety and independence in my life, and it's just like all of my brothers actually. So I have, my dad's been with a lot of women. He's been with like 6 women since I've been alive. Yeah. So
you're not that old. You're like 19, right?
I'm 19. Yeah. And a lot of them, all of them actually were bipolar and wouldn't take their meds.
It's weird how there's patterns in life.
Yeah, he's still with one. Yeah. No, it's crazy, and like the problem is he's too comfortable. Like he needs a woman in his life, which unfortunately has like projected onto me. So like if I break up with someone, I need to be with someone immediately right after. Wow. Like I found my independence in my personal life, but not having someone with me is like a huge issue. Like I'm going through it literally right now. I just broke up with my boyfriend like a week and a half ago, and I'm already following old patterns, which I really shouldn't. But he said something really interesting to me. He was like, if you continue being with people, you're going to worry too much about what they think of you and what you're doing to actually live your life. And I was like, shit, you're right. But like the problem is when people give you advice, you usually don't listen to it. At least I don't listen to it most of the time. But it's just like a constant struggle of like how to be alone on like a daily basis, because I've always been with someone since freshman year of high school. I've always had a boyfriend or girlfriend, always.
See, for me, and not to get away from your story, because I do want to get into that. For me, it's the complete opposite. Really? I've always been like, I can do it on my own, and I feel like not in the masculine way of like I don't, because I'm very good at sharing my emotions, and if you get to know me, I'm a very sensitive, soft,
no, I'm aware.
caring person. Like,
because when Brian and me would leave the POS, you'd be like, guys, like, where are you going? You both left me.
And I was joking, but like part of that maybe is true, and but for me, like for your timestamp or whatever, freshman year of high school, like I haven't talked to that many girls. I haven't and part of that is I put myself out there way more now because I make content and I do all this stuff, and like I love talking to people and stuff, but like for some reason I've always felt like I'm okay doing it by myself, and I think part of that is how I grew up. And the fact that my parents are divorced, they were always arguing. My brother had brain cancer when he was in second grade, and that was hard. Like all of hard. It, you know. Like there was so much stuff that happened in my childhood and throughout my life that made me mature at a young age, to where part of me now thinks that like I can do it on my own because I've done it on my own for so long. And I know that's not true, and part of me is working to a point where I'm okay trying to talk to somebody, trying to put myself out there and whatever, but it's hard.
And it's also like with your situation, I feel like it's also you have had so much going on, you haven't had the chance to as well. Like I feel like I feel like you constantly have a lot going on. I feel like you're a busy person for the most part, slightly, especially with how you're describing your childhood. There's a lot more to think about than another person,
Yeah, my mind's always racing. And I've gotten a lot. I don't deal with anxiety or any of that stuff that I did when I went to court basically against my mom, and it was like this whole big thing, and like my relationship with my mom is much better than it was a couple years ago, but like that shit was hard. Like and I mean, when you go through stuff in your childhood, it either makes or breaks you. And I wake up and I think to myself almost every day that I could be so much different than I am. I could have let this make me into a horrible person, but I took everything that has happened, and I took all that pain, and I took all the time that I was alone, and I let it do the opposite of what it was supposed to do. I let it make me into this amazing, kind, loving, caring, hardworking person when I could have fallen to anything.
Yeah.
Like and that's what I pride myself on, is the fact that I was able to overcome, and on top of that, be successful at anything.
Yeah. Like I have like conversations with my mom over the phone maybe once every 6 months. And every time she says, she's like, I'm so lucky that you turned out the way you did. Because I've got alcoholics, I've got drug addicts, like, directly near me all the time. And she's like, you should have turned out a lot different. And I was like, well, I can't, especially having my dad as my only parental guardian. That definitely, if my dad wasn't, if I would have had, I feel like if the roles would have been reversed and my mom would have taken care of me and my dad wouldn't have been in my life, I would have turned out so much worse. 100%. Because he's more of like a, don't look in the past, look to the future, like, suck it up, like, like, I'm a woman, so, like, it's hard for me to do that.
Right.
But he made it so I was able to do that and continue living. Because, like, if he hadn't given me, it wasn't so much support. I wouldn't say it was support. It was more so just, like, advice. Just, like, don't let this break you. Keep looking forward. Right. Keep working. Keep yourself busy. Like, that's the problem, is, like, when I'm not busy, and I, like, sleep is a really hard thing. Because when I'm not busy, when I'm not talking to someone, when I'm not doing something, I just have so much time to sit with my thoughts, and I constantly am thinking about everything in my entire life, like, everything that's happened, everything that will happen possibly. So, like, he just taught me to keep really busy, and that's helped a lot, and, like, that's made me into the person I am today. But I will say, like, when I am alone and when I am, like, just sitting in bed, it's the worst thing for me, which is, like, kind of unfortunate, because I would like to rest, but, like, I never give myself a chance to rest,
Yeah. Well, you need that. You need to. You like, that's something that I had to overcome. Like, now, when I get in bed, it is awesome. Like, I get to rest. And I feel bad for, like, telling you this, but, like my mind is constantly racing with ideas and thoughts and ways to do this, ways to do that, whatever, because, like, I'm an idea man. Like, like,
clearly
I'm a creative. Like, that's how my mind works. So, like, all these things are constantly going through my head about whatever it is, and it's not on the bad stuff anymore. Does that stuff come up every once in a while, and I have to deal with it? Of course it does, because my parents are still separated, and I still have younger siblings that are minors that are going through that stuff, that court and whatever and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
But you have to make a decision for yourself that this is the type of person I want to be. This is the work that I have to put in to get there. So if at the end of the day you want to be able to just, like, take a big deep breath and let it all out and say, I can't deal with it now, but I'm going to deal with it tomorrow. If you want to be able to do that, it takes so much work and effort, and it takes going to therapy, and it takes having tough conversations with people you love sometimes, like, Mom, why did you do this when I was younger? Because that's stuff that you will carry with you when you're 30 and you're having issues with your partner or whatever, and you're like, Dad, why did you do this? Because I learned this behavior from you, and now I'm going through it. What, like, you have to have those tough conversations now so that later it doesn't come back and bite you in the ass, and now you're like, the fuck is going on? I should have had that conversation.
The problem is throughout my whole life, especially with my mother, she went to prison for a while. She got a DUI and running away from a scene and all that stuff, because she used to drink and drive often because she was an alcoholic.
Right.
And the day before she went to prison, she told me, Mommy's going away for a long time. And I didn't know what that meant, but I didn't know she was going to prison, but she went. So I kept all of her letters. I still have every single one. She wrote to me twice a week. I have every single letter.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I have every single letter. I sent her letters. Meanwhile, I'm young. I'm like 11 or 12. Like,
right.
And I've been writing, I wrote letters to her about why she would do this to me, why she would let all the things that happened to me happen to me. And I tell my dad, and it's just really hard when when the people around you, when you want to, because I'm the mature one in this situation, and I hate to be that way, but I am. And it's hard to, like, it's hard to explain to someone that doesn't want to explain themselves. And especially with alcoholics and addicts, they're very defensive people.
Yeah.
Anything you say, they will take personally and they will attack you for it every single time. Every single time. And I recently met up with my grandmothers, and I was like talking about, not my mom, but like what's going on with my dad and how we have issues just like communicating, and like, because he works, I work, our work schedules never line up, so we don't talk a lot. But they were like, write it down, write it on a letter. And I literally told them, I'm like, I've been doing that my entire life with my mother. I'm sick of trying to get people to understand through my handwriting. Like, what is that going to convey more than what I'm saying? They just choose not to listen. They decide to get defensive. They decide to get angry. And you know what? That's, you can't do anything about that, especially if they don't want to change. Because I know my dad, he's too comfortable in his own lifestyle. He's never changing the way he is. And especially, like, my mother has, because she actually just had a baby recently. She's like 44 and she just had a baby.
Nice.
So she's changed a lot as a person, because she used to be with an abusive man. Whenever she used to live in the heart of Baltimore City, like, it was bad, and I would want to go see her as a child, but it was hard because her boyfriend would beat on her on a regular basis, like tell her she's a fucking whore and her kids don't love her, and like it was really bad. And like, it's hard dealing with those people, because you have to deal with them. Like, it's not like I can cut her out of my life. Like, it's not a possibility
Right.
ever, because she is my mother. But she's proven to me time and time again that there are more important things in life than me. Like going to court. Like, thank God my parents divorced when I was really young. I was like maybe 2. So like, that was easy. But she got with a new husband, and when I was like 4, I was old enough to walk, I know that. They found out that he had been abusing me, and like, up, like down and up my legs, like black and blue, like straight beating the shit out of me. Yeah, no, it was really, really bad.
How the fuck can anybody do that to a child?
It gets even worse. It gets even worse. So we went to court for it, right? And his parents are rich, so they hired an amazing lawyer. And my mother and him were assigned to take a polygraph test. They agreed to it day before. They said they wouldn't do it. And then we get to court, and he told everyone that his son, he's like 4 years older than me, so he was around like 8. He told them that he beat me. He told the court that an 8-year-old beat me. Yeah. And my family heard afterwards. They were walking out of the courtroom, and her husband, Tim, he was telling his son, are you ready to get that brand new bike I told you we'd get? Because he bribed him with a bike to tell the court that it was him and it wasn't his father, and he got away scot-free. And they were driving out of the complex, like the court complex, and they see my mom and Tim in the car, and they're celebrating.
Who's Tim?
Tim is her husband, her late husband. They're celebrating with like loud music, windows down, because they won the court case and he didn't have to go to jail. I was 4. So yeah, it's just like, there's a lot that happened to me, and it's just like hard. Like, I don't think about it now, and I didn't even know about it until my family told me it, like what happened. But it's just hard to get over. Like,
that's trauma. That's like stuff that you don't remember that happened to you, and you don't know why you feel the way you do about some things. It's trauma that you can't even, that was passed down from your mom and your dad. And then when you were younger, stuff happened to you. Like, that's, yeah.
Like, and there was, so I have a brother, and I have another, so my blood siblings, one has XYY and autism, so he has a deformity in his chromosomes, so he has double the male chromosomes that a normal male would have. Right. So it makes him really angry, really he's full of testosterone basically, and right. He's like 4 years younger than me. So he also has autism. And then my other brother, Blake, he's also got autism. So it's like all of my blood siblings have like major issues about them, and it's hard because people are like, oh, like, why are you the only normal one? I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of weird that I am, but like, right. I don't know. It was just, it was hard because I had already gone through enough, and I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, so I had already gone through enough with Tim, her ex-husband, and Skylar, his son, is the one that he bribed. He also would sexually abuse me on a regular basis, and my brother Peyton, my mom's son. So Blake is my dad's son. He has autism, and then Peyton with the XYY, he's my mom's son. And he's 4 years older than me, and he's trying to grope me in my sleep. He's trying to have me touch him in certain ways. And the problem is my mom would just write it off and be like, oh, it's his, like, it's his XYY. Like, we just have to deal with it. Well, it came back to rear its ugly head because I hadn't seen him in 6 years. Like, I hadn't seen him in forever because I don't associate with that side of my family anymore. And he texts me. My mom gives him my number on Christmas Day. He texts me, and I'm like, Mom, why would you give him my number? Because right. He's an issue. He is a menace to society, and I hate to say it like that, but he is truly. Yeah. Like, when he would get mad, he would bang his head on tables, on walls, until his forehead would crack open. Like, he's a very aggressive person. And he texts me, and it's all normal, whatever. I'm like, hey, Peyton, like, I'm not going to be rude to him. Maybe he didn't know what he was doing when he was younger. So I'm texting him, and after 30 minutes, I don't text him back, and he goes, answer me. And I'm like, no, you don't get to decide that. Like, I'm not going to answer you. And so we keep texting, and then he's like, send me a picture of you naked right now. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Like, it's crazy because, like, what? And he's like, I don't even know how old he is at this point. I don't even know. He's older, though. He's definitely older. He's like 13 or 14 at this point.
That caught me off guard.
Yeah, no, I know. It caught me off guard, too. I wasn't, because I'm thinking, oh, he's young. He didn't know what he was doing. He was trying to find himself, whatever. But, like, he definitely knew what he was doing. And he got he didn't get in trouble for it, nothing. I just blocked him. And that was that. So, like, it's, like, that's where a lot of my issues with men come from. I mean, other things, too, of course. Like, High school's a bitch. High school is a royal bitch.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, hard to get over it. But, I don't know. The things in my life, like, now that I'm talking about it, they're just, like, kind of crazy. Like, they're kind of out there. Like, I don't think about it. Yeah. And I don't talk about it because, like, everybody in my life knows what happens because I'm, like, an open book. Like, once you get me talking, I don't stop, clearly.
Yeah, right.
Thanks, Colin.
It's good content. It's good content, guys. Come on.
No, but it's just, like, thinking about, like, talking about it and then, like, thinking about it while I'm talking about it, I'm like, wow, like, this is insane. I've just suppressed it for so long. Like,
but these are the type of conversations that the longer you suppress it, the more ugly it becomes when it pops back up.
And, like, a big thing was I did have a therapist for a long time.
Yeah.
In high school was a mess. High school was a true mess. It was a true test of, like, my capability to live, because good Lord, did I want to die. I did not want to be here anymore.
What high school did you go to?
I went to North Hartford for 2 years, and then I went to C. Milton for 2 years. And so I dated a girl for like 2.5 years. Yeah.
I don't I have no issue.
Mhm.
It's just everything that you're saying somehow seems to catch me off guard more than the last thing.
No, literally, my life is crazy.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
I dated a girl for around 2.5 years, and it was just an interesting. I truly believe I could never be with a girl again. It's just
Yeah.
I'm too emotional. They're too emotional. It just doesn't mesh. So I told her I wanted to break up because I wanted to break up because I need to work on myself, which was a lie. It was
That
a
is
lie, and I will admit it on here right now. It was a
that is every
fucking
breakup
lie.
ever. I
No,
need to
literally.
work on
No,
myself.
literally.
That is what everybody
Oh my
says.
gosh, don't even get me
Uh,
started. So I told her that, and I started talking to this guy named we shall not name him, but we I started talking to this guy, and he had a 2-year-old kid. Uh,
he had a 2-year-old kid, and you said,
yeah,
"Yeah."
yeah.
You went into it knowing I might have to be a mother figure.
I was completely okay with that. It's crazy. I think it's
Oh
because
man.
my mom wasn't around for so long and I had to raise all of my siblings. Truly,
Mm,
I really did have to
yeah.
raise all my siblings cuz like especially Peyton when we would be cuz she got visitation at my grandmother's house and she would just sleep the whole time because she wouldn't be taking her meds and then she'd want to sleep all the
Right.
time cuz she's depressed. So I would make him all his food. I would dress him. I would get him ready so our uncle could take us out somewhere. Like I took care of him, and I think truly that manifested. And like I was so ready. I was so ready to take care of this child. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like I was so ready to be a mother, and I think it's because that's just how I am now. That's how it's shaped me. Like I'm definitely more of a maternal figure.
I think that's gonna make you a great mother one day.
Thank you. And I really hope it does. I hope none of my issues get in the way, but
If you let it, it will make you a great mother.
mhm.
And I think you have that ability in you,
Mhm.
but you have to you have to be the one to, for lack of a better term, like cultivate that,
Mhm.
like the
Exactly.
seeds are planted, now you have to water that. You
Exactly.
have like, you know?
Yeah. And I was just so ready and I was so madly in love with this man that like the thing is one of the big things I've learned is when it's love and when it's obsession.
Mm,
Cuz truly it was obsession. It was
yeah.
not I was madly in love, but it wasn't true love. Like I was
Right.
just obsessed with him. And everybody found out about him cuz I got with him maybe a girl broke up. And
It's okay. Sidebar. I dated this girl like sophomore year of high school or freshman year of high school,
mhm.
and she broke up with me. And like 2 months later, she came out, and my younger brother makes fun of me for this all the time. He's like, "Colin, you turned a girl gay," and I'm like, "No, that guys, that didn't happen. That didn't happen."
That's the worst. That's
It's kind of
that's
funny though. I
it's
laugh at it
funny.
now.
It's funny now, but like in
Yeah.
the moment you're like, "Damn, like really? Like did I really?"
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I had issues with telling people that like I dated a girl cuz a lot of
Right.
people are like ew,
Yeah.
like what are you doing? And like especially my dad. My dad did not take it well at first. He was like, "You're not a lesbian," like blah blah blah. And I knew I wasn't a lesbian. I knew I
Right.
liked men. It wasn't any question of if I liked men or not. Like it was just in the moment we meshed and that's what it
Yeah.
was.
People explore,
Exactly.
especially at young ages. That's what
Exactly.
happens.
And um so everybody found out about the guy that I was seeing and she was a popular girl. She was on the soccer team. She was popular. So she told everyone. And nobody liked me to say the least. Nobody liked me because they knew that I just didn't want to be with her anymore and I got a rebound. So that put me in a really hard spot, a really big depression, a deep depression. And that's when I got a therapist and I was like, "You know what? Cool. Like that's good. Like
Right.
therapists are always good." Um and me and that one guy, we just didn't work out. He slept with another girl. We were never truly together. Like we were never
Right.
labeled.
Yeah.
We were never like boyfriend girlfriend like 100%. But um, like we were definitely something, and everybody knew it. So he slept with another girl, and I was like, you know what? I actually like thank God I broke up with him because he really needed to work on himself. Like, good Lord, he needed to work on himself. Like, one night, I told my dad I was going to the library. I was not going to the library. Like, that's,
What teenager is ever going to the
no, that's what
library?
I'm saying. Oh, I do. I
That's
used to study for tests at the library because I literally could not keep focus anywhere else. So I would have to go to the library, unfortunately. So he
mhm.
believed me until he checked my location and he was like, "You're an idiot. Library closes at 6. You say you be there by until like 8." And I was like, I probably should have checked that. And so I come home because he's livid. And I come home and we're fighting. I'm on the top of the steps, he's at the bottom. And we're screaming at each other. We hear a knock on the door. We're like, that's weird. My dad opens it. It's this man with his child in a like a onesie. It's dead winter. It's dead winter. No like sleeves, no pants, just a onesie. Sobbing. And we're like, I'm like, I never knew he was coming. He shouldn't have come. And my dad's like, get the fuck outside. And so he took him outside. And apparently the guy was like, I need to see Dahlia. Like, something really bad happened. And my dad was like, you need to get in your car and leave right now before I call the police, because there's clearly no respect for my home if you're willing to come and knock on the door at 9 o'clock at night. And so he was like, okay, so he left. So he told my dad that his best friend died, right? I come to later find out after I talked to him, he had a pregnancy scare with another girl. And that's why he came to my house crying with his child, is because he was having a pregnancy scare. So,
Isn't that like for him not a big deal?
yeah, I know.
He already has a kid.
I mean, but he's maybe a year or two older than me. So, like, he's like 20 or 21 right now. So, like, another kid would be kind of crazy. But I was like, why are you talking about me, like, to me about this? Like, we're together. You shouldn't want me to know about your pregnancy scares, you know?
I'm interested in what his name is because the timeline lines up with somebody that I went to school with that had a kid. I
What
don't
school
know.
did you go to?
I went to a private school. What was it? He didn't go to a private school, did he?
No, he went to
Okay.
C. Melton.
Yeah, he didn't end up going to see. All right, it's different guy. Good, because that was gonna
Yeah.
be weird if I somehow knew this
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, exactly. No, but he did that. So, and then after that, he slept with another girl. So I was like, you know what, whatever. But I took revenge. I was like, you know what, you're gonna go have sex with another girl. I'm gonna have sex with your best friend. So, well, not have sex. I'm the type of person, I need to know you for at least 3 months before I do anything like that. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start talking to your best friend. I just say have sex with your best friend because it sounds like,
Right.
oh, my revenge
Yeah.
arc, whatever. So I started talking to his best friend. They eventually start hating each other. They want to kill each other, but they have to see each other every day in school. It was truly insane. So I start dating this new guy, and I get a therapist at that point. New guy, he's a great person. He just doesn't know how to be in a relationship, you know? And we were young and immature, and he did some things that were not okay and aligned with my past. But at the time, we were together for like 8 months, and I told my therapist the day of what happened. And I pour my heart out, all that. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry to tell you, I'm actually leaving the practice today. Yeah. So not only do I have trust issues from everyone else in my life, but now my therapist too, because she, like, something really hard just happened to me, and I pour my heart out to you, and afterwards you decide to tell me that you're leaving the practice. And she's like, my the place that she worked, my office will help you find a new one, blah 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 blah. I had been talking to this woman for like 6 months. I left class to go see her because she only had availability certain times, but this, like, everybody knew I needed it, so the school allowed it. Like, I had to get a pardon from class and everything. And she's like, yeah, I'm leaving the practice, they'll help you. They never called, they never helped. I just stopped going to therapy because I couldn't go with her anymore. And that's a big thing about therapists now, is I just have such bad trust issues now that like I don't it, is it even worth it? Like it's just
Yeah.
it's a hard, like a lot of people have broken my trust in a lot of different ways, and it's hard to forgive and let
Yeah.
go. And that's one of the things I have not let go yet. Like
Yeah.
I have not, my trust issues are so bad with therapists now. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, me and that guy broke up, and then I started downloading Tinder and talking to guys off of all sorts of websites. And then I met the guy who I was recently with. Best person I've ever been with in my entire
On
life.
Tinder?
No,
Or-
no, 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 no.
I
I
was
met him
gonna
through a
say.
friend. I met him through a friend.
Yeah.
And he was the best freaking person I've ever been with. He was the nicest person, the most thoughtful, caring. Like, I never argued with him, which I did a lot with other people. I never argued with him because he was so understanding and genuine. It was just, I didn't have that physical connection to him, and I just couldn't. After he went to high school, after he went to college, I really just couldn't be intimate with him anymore, and I saw him more as a friend. So I had to break that off recently. We were together for almost a year.
That's tough. That's
Yeah.
hard. That is hard.
And it's hard too because my dad literally begged me like to stay with him. He was like, please. He like I love him. He's a great person. Like he is the only person my dad has ever truly liked.
Wow.
And he came over to drop off my stuff, and my dad saw him, and my dad literally like hugged him and started like tearing up and was like, you're a great person and you'll find everything you want in life. I'm sorry that this had to happen to you. Like they had their own little like moment.
That is so sad for like everybody involved.
No, I know.
Like
It
that
was
is
so
bad.
bad.
That is like worst case scenario.
No,
like,
I know.
Yeah.
And I wanted to because the thing is, I'm a very physical person. Like
Yeah.
physical attraction, unfortunately, means the most to me
Right.
out of anything. Like that's why I was with a lot of the people I was with.
Right.
But I wish it wasn't like that. But like my dad, he's the type, like he'll see a hot girl at a bar and date her for the next 7 years. And like the most recent, he picked the prettiest girl on Facebook and he's been dating her for 3.
That's insane.
Yeah.
How attractive is your dad? Scale 1.
You're asking me to rate my dad.
I mean,
He's
Naya, now that I
40
think about it, it's a
he's
little weird.
46. I don't think he's bad looking. I think he's like a solid for 46 at 8 or a 9, honestly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm saying if he's like a 4 and he's picking up these girls and like dating them.
No.
Like,
he's dating. So he's 46 right now. He's dating a 31 or 32-year-old.
see, he has to be A, good looking, and B, like
Has a lot of money.
Yeah. Or he's just like he's really good at talking.
He's not.
Like
he's not the best at talking.
He doesn't have good play.
He has the play is questionable, but the social skills are there because he owns his own business. So
Okay.
like he's good with social skills. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
he's amazing.
All right, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he like
You know, if only he wasn't an addict.
no, literally, he's all better. He's not better. He's still an alcoholic, but
Yeah.
like he. The problem is he dates people who are alcoholics and who are bipolar because
Yeah.
after a while they start to rely on him, and like they'll just stay at home and he'll do everything for them. They don't have to have a job. They don't have to do anything except for like take care of the kids, which like all of
Yeah.
the kids now in my house are self-sufficient for the most part. So we really don't have any issues with that. But yeah, no, he such an interesting human being. I love him to death, but everybody has their flaws, but like
Yeah.
especially when you're with them 24/7, it's hard not to see them more, you know?
Right.
Because like everybody's like, oh, he's perfect, he runs his own business, blah blah blah. I'd be like, you'd be shocked at the kind of person he actually is. Because
Yeah.
like he's a great person, he's a family man, but like a lot of it is a mask of what he really is, which he is a great person at heart. He's caring, he's kind, he's genuine, he loves his family, but he's a very defensive person and a very but yeah, like my life is really crazy now that I think about it. like my life was like kind of crazy.
So we could probably do like an entire like 2 more hours on
No,
your life,
literally,
and like
literally.
with the like with everything you said, more questions popped up, and I kind of want to bring it to one question that like stood out to me and is important to me, is after everything you've been through, everything you've gone through, all the trauma, all the pain and suffering from your childhood up until now that you still kind of deal with in a way.
Yeah.
We were at work and we were talking about, I forget what we were talking about, but we were at the 100s POS, and I forget what we were talking about. But then I said something like, because I saw your cross necklace and I said, "Big Jesus girl, eh?"
Yeah, I
And
remember that.
and
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
and you're like, "What the fuck?" We just started laughing. So my question is that how is number one, is religion, is Christianity, Jesus, God, whatever, is that, how has that been helpful to you, and is that something that is like meaningful in your life? Because a lot of people, they say they're Christian, or like
Oh,
everybody wears a cross
don't
necklace,
even
but
get me
like,
started. They flaunt it when they're not actually like.
so that kind of answers the question for me. But how has that helped you? How has your faith helped you?
So, I had a long struggle with faith for a long time because my grandmother, bless her heart, she's a Jehovah's Witness, and she tried to convert me to
My brother's
be.
a Mormon, so I
Really?
yeah.
Is he really? Or are you lying? Are
No,
you
he
joking?
is. I swear to you, my older brother is a Mormon, and he got married after knowing a girl for like 4 months, and they moved out to Idaho
Oh my gosh.
Christmas Day.
That's insane.
Yeah,
That's
that has caused a lot of stuff in the family. I'll tell you that. There has been a lot of discourse in the family about that
I
decision.
bet. I bet.
And I love him to death, but he's made some very impulsive decisions.
I feel like you can also use your religion to give an excuse for a lot of the decisions you make.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, I can do whatever the fuck I want, because
Exactly.
at the end of the day,
I'm
if
following.
I ask for forgiveness, and the Bible says the only thing that matters is whether or not you believe that Jesus Christ died for your sins, and if you believe that, and God knows what's truly in your heart, then you can do whatever you want and still be saved.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
It's so I had a hard time with her for a while because she tried to convert me to be a Jehovah's Witness, and so many things just didn't make sense to me, especially because I was younger. And
Right.
and it was at a really deep, dark point in my life. I just didn't want to listen to anything else, really. I was just like set in my own little world, you know? So she tried to convert me. And I was like, this is too much for me. I can't handle this right now. And like, there's a lot of rules with Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, you can't celebrate Christmas. You can't celebrate birthdays. You can't.
It's the same thing with Mormons. They have a lot of rules. Yeah.
Celebrate any holidays. Like, it's just really hard, like, to live your life under a constant strict set of rules, and that's the problem that I was having the most. I'm like, God gave us all of this. God gave us everything for us to restrict ourselves based on a holiday. And like, I don't know, it just sounded crazy to me. So I was like, not crazy, but like, it just sounded interesting to me. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a step back. And recently I had a couple signs. My friend started going to church. She started getting more into her faith. My ex-boyfriend, his mother was very into Christianity, great woman. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try. And I was good with reading and praying for a couple days. It's a lot of discipline, honestly. I hate to say it that way, but it is a lot of discipline, because like, you can get thrown off track so easily by your own life. Like, if you don't set certain times, or like lunch, dinner, like praying over food, like that sets a certain time for you. But like, if you're reading, you gotta figure out between your work schedule, when you're going to the gym, when you're doing this, when you're doing that, like, you have to figure out when you have time to do it. So like, I had a real big issue reading and worshiping, but I didn't have a big issue praying. I did that a lot. And then recently, when I broke up with my boyfriend, I prayed to God and I started reading Psalms. And I was just like, please, please help me, because I never want this person to leave my life. I feel like you had us meet for a reason. Everything's for a reason, and you had us meet for a reason. So I think we took it as a relationship, and I don't think you intended it to be that way, clearly, because we're not together anymore, but please keep him in my life. And in that moment, he texts me, and he's like, hey, how are you? Something, something, something. And then we start talking about the Bible and how we're both praying for each other and how we both care about each other more than just to be able to block each other, you know? And I feel like he's really helped give me the strength to get through a lot of the situations that I've had and to be alone, because that's a big issue for me. Like I said from the jump, like I can't, like my dad's never been alone. I can't be alone. Like it's hard not having a partner to go through life with. But I realized that I can put all that pressure, put all that emptiness on God, and he truly like answers me. He gives me the strength, cuz I wouldn't still be alone. I wouldn't still be single if it weren't for him, honestly. I swear. Like it's just hard to be set out of your ways, but I feel like if you really pray and you really ask him to help you and give you strength, he will give it to you. Maybe not in the way you intended, because when we pray, usually it's not answered in the way it's intended. Right. We intend it. But I think he's given me strength more than anything else right now, honestly. I got those tattoos that I was telling you about.
You did?
Yeah, the back of my neck's done, and then I got Psalms on my side. And
That's
it's
awesome.
Yeah. Hold on, let me read the first thing. God is within her, she will not fail. Psalms 46:5. Yeah.
No, you were telling me about the tattoos, and that's when I said big Jesus girl.
Big Jesus girl. Yeah. Yeah, I literally just got those 2 days ago, so
I love that. I think that's awesome. And the reason I asked was because like so many people claim to be or whatever, and they aren't, and that's why I wonder a lot. I wonder, and that's a big thing to me, is like belief system. I don't care what you believe, but I have a very hard time seeing the point of view of we don't have a creator, or there's no end purpose, or nothing matters, because you can't tell somebody that's been through so much in their life that it happened for no reason.
Exactly. That's hard.
You cannot. You can't tell me after everything I've gone through and after everything that I've done to get to where I am, that at the end of this, it's just a black screen.
Exactly.
You're not going to tell me that, because I know it's not true.
Exactly. In my heart.
Right. But I think it's awesome that the first thing you do is pray. That when that happened with your ex, you said, let me pray about it. And as soon as you pray about it, guess who texts you?
Yeah,
guess what's
exactly.
happening? And it's crazy to me that we always find our way back to our creator. Whether you believe that's God or whatever it is to you, you always find your way back.
And I think that's so important, like in life, just to have that strong relationship, because not only like, because some people will be like, oh, what's the point, like blah 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 blah, but like even if it weren't like I'm relying on him, he gives me strength, it's more so like everything in the Bible is good things. Like my dad even said that, because he's not religious at all, but like when my grandmother started doing like Jehovah's Witness stuff with me, he was like, it's all good teachings, it's all good lessons, I will never have an issue with you studying the Bible. So like why would you have an issue with reading a book of love and guidance and like good values? Like I don't understand that. And not only that, like people who pretend like they're Christian and like
Because it looks cool.
Exactly.
Some people think it looks cool to like.
Exactly.
I'm like, I don't know if it's supposed to look cool. I don't think
No.
Jesus wasn't walking around in his sandals performing miracles because he looked cool. I don't think that was it.
And he didn't die on the cross for us to wear around our necks, even if we don't believe in him.
He easily could have done it another way. He easily could have not. Have you ever watched Passion of the Christ?
I haven't.
You have to watch that.
I have to watch
it is an amazing movie. I watched it because going to private school, we have religion class.
Yeah.
So we watched that. And it gets you emotional because you are watching Jesus. You watch him go on trial. You watch all this stuff happen, and there is a scene in the movie where you watch him get whipped and you watch all this terrible stuff happen. And it's literally, you see all the blood, you see all the, all the stuff,
all the pain,
all the gore, all of it. And you see it. And you see, and it does a really great job of capturing it. You see how much pain he was in, but we can't even imagine what that pain is like, because we sit here and we think our life is hard. But those few days that he went through are harder than anything we will ever go through.
Very true.
So you have to watch that movie. It is an amazing
Passion of Christ.
Passion of the Christ. Yeah,
Christ. Got you.
It's an awesome movie. But I mean, you watch it and you're like, yeah, if he could do all of that, and he didn't even have to. Because here's the thing, he could do whatever he wanted.
That's what I'm saying.
God can do literally anything.
He could have given up on us easily.
Right.
He would have been like, I'm just gonna make a whole new civilization.
Right. And every time that we mess up, every sin that we commit, every time that we say something we don't mean, every time that I got into a fight with my younger brother when we were 10, every time all that stuff happens, God could have left you. God could have said, I'm done with you. I'm throwing you out.
Exactly.
And he didn't. And
that means something.
And think how many things we do each day that we don't even think about it. But when I say something in my head, when I'm at my table and this woman's being a bitch and I'm like, fuck this bitch in my head, right? God, you ask for forgiveness, but God could say, no, you don't deserve anything good. You don't, but that's God's grace.
Exactly.
And
his forgiveness, and it's really helped me. The forgiveness part has really helped me because I couldn't forgive myself, but once I started reading and praying, I knew that I could find forgiveness and forgiveness for other people as well, because there are some terrible people out in the world, and it hurt me to think about, you're so miserable, and you do all of these terrible things, but it makes me happy to know that they will, hopefully, I hope, but they will find forgiveness in the end. And it's just it not a second, I wouldn't say a second chance, but it gives hope, I've sinned, we've all sinned, but we can find forgiveness in the end if we just look towards him. And it's helped me forgive a lot of people in my life, because a lot of people were hard to forgive. But I was just like, they know not what they do. They just don't think, and they truly haven't found their relationship and power and strength with God yet. So I truly pray for them and hope that they find that one day, and hope that they find forgiveness. And my mom has too. My mom, she worships every single day. She's completely changed her life, and it's helped me forgive her, but it's also hard not to have resentment because you couldn't have done this when I was younger, There's things that, again, conversations that have to be had exactly
at some point, and I push you to have those conversations. I hope you do, because, and I know, and it's so hard to listen to other people's advice, and it's hard to listen to my own advice, because I'm out here doing all this inspirational people for so long in my life now have told me I should be a motivational speaker.
Really?
But sometimes I can't even take my own advice.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I sit here and I say, what should I do? And I literally just had a conversation with somebody where I was telling them to do the exact thing that I should do, but I can't even take a step back in my own life and see it.
Because you're worried about
Right.
it. I feel like a big thing is worrying about other people and like
that
giving
is such a big thing.
giving time for yourself.
Yes. I just had a conversation with my friend Kate about this. Kate is she's from Maryland, but she actually lives in Florida.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
wish.
I see these connections in my life all the time and stuff. My life is just a bunch of full circle moments. So when you tell me you're from Florida and now like we're talking about this thing and my friend I was having a conversation with this exact thing lives in Florida but is from Maryland, it's like it's crazy to me. But anyway, we were having this conversation about other people's expectations, what other people think about us, worrying about that. And we were saying that it's so hard because everyone else's life is always in front of us. We look on our phone and we have all these Snapchats and stories and the Instagram and the Twitter and all this other stuff, and we constantly get to see other people's lives. So when we sit here, we're looking at other people's lives and we tap on Sarah's story or whoever and we're like, oh, look what she's doing. And it's constantly comparing. It's constantly thinking about what other people are doing, what other people have.
Yep.
What do we have? What don't we have?
Yep.
Why are they doing this? Oh, maybe
why can't I have this?
Maybe I should be doing that. And it's the fear of missing out. Oh, look, they're all at this party and they're having a lot of fun.
College is a big one.
Yeah.
College is a big one for me because I didn't go to college.
And I didn't either.
Because everybody in my family, it's like nobody in my family really went to college.
Right.
And it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Just plain and simple, it's a lot of money. But when I see like my friends out partying and finding new friends and like all this stuff, I'm like, wow, I think I should have went.
Yeah. For me, that's never been the case because this was another one of in our friendship arc. This was one of our like first moments was when we were at Layla's and I was about to leave and we were I don't know, something came up and I'm sober. I'm the only person that doesn't do anything.
You were.
And it was so funny because like everyone else is like getting lit or nobody was like getting lit like that, but still like
Layla was.
Well, some people and some people were
Dalton. Oh
somebody was smoking something out the window. Oh, yeah. and I think Austin was like, "Yo, Colin, you should take a hit. That would be so fun." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know." And then you said something like, "Colin, you don't do any." I was like, "No, like I've never in my life felt so. I don't feel like I am missing out when I see people like going to parties or like I might get invited to something." But I have no problem saying no because quite honestly, I'd rather be in bed by 11:30 and like be here and like take care of myself and like just enjoy my time, you know? Like I've never needed that, but like I see tons of people where they're like, "Oh, I should have went. I should have done that. I should have done this." And they like their entire life is regret. And that is such like living with regret is the worst thing because you will always be thinking, should I have done this? Should I have not done that? And that's why I always tell people, I say, take risks. If you feel like, and you're 19 years old and you're 20 years old, even if you're 25, and you have this feeling, maybe I should go for something. Maybe I should do this. Do it. Because missing out and living with that regret is 100 times worse than trying it.
Yeah.
Just try. Just do it, you know? And I'm not even talking about going to parties and stuff. Yeah. I'm talking about, like, if you feel like you shouldn't go to school and you have this business you want to do, go and start that business when you're 22 years old.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Because you don't want to be looking back on your life
and be like, oh, dang, I wish I would have done. And it's too late at that point. I've had a lot of people, like my dad, he started his business when he was 30 something, and it's big. It's a large business. It's a well-running business. It's just his regret is I should have started sooner. And that was a big thing for me. That's why I got into real estate so early, because all I've heard my whole life is I wish I would have done this sooner. You need to do this now. You need to do this now. Like, granted, I wish I would have like taken a gap year and like traveled the whole world, but you know, it is what it is. Like, it's hard to balance, like, especially with the FOMO, like it's hard to balance, like there's so many expectations of us and so many things we want to do at the same time. It's just hard to make money and go to work, but then also want to travel the world and live your life to the fullest, because you've only got 70 years of each season. I mean, 70 like summers, winters, whatever. I heard a guy on Instagram say it, but you've only got that amount of time. Like, you got to live it to the fullest, but at the same time, how are you supposed to be like financially stable and do that at the same time? Like, it's just the world is a hard balance right now for me, because I want to go out, I want to travel, I want to like it's not even about partying, it's more so about just like seeing the world, honestly. Like, I want to live my life to the fullest while I'm young, but I can't do that because being financially independent and stable is so hard in this economy right now. Not even to get political,
No,
but like,
it is what it is.
So hard. It's just it's a constant like battle in my head,
right?
Because I know what I want to do, but I know what I also have to do, you know?
Yeah
Yeah,
it's tough.
it is.
How long? It's 1:45. You probably have to leave soon, right?
Oh, my dad's getting my brother.
Oh, your dad's getting your brother?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So we have
until like 2. Yeah, until like 2.
Okay. All right. Okay. I didn't realize we had more time.
Checking your watch, and I
was like, okay, I don't want to like.
Yeah, run over. Yeah, no.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Perfect. So I can settle in. I have to use the restroom real quick. So
Go ahead.
Give me 1 second.
I'll let them sit. This is great. I'm gonna grab Burger King after this.
Burger King?
Burger King. I love Burger King. I love Burger King so much.
What's your vice?
My advice? Like to people?
No. Your vice.
My vice. What's that?
Like the one thing that like you shouldn't do but you do anyway.
Vaping. 100%. 1,000% vaping.
Stared into my soul when you said that.
100%. 1,000%. Because like, it was the guy who had a kid.
Yeah.
That's when it started, because he had one, and we would go on drives and he'd be like, hit this until you can't cough anymore.
What?
And I just do it because like, fuck it, why not? But like, now I'm addicted, and I've been addicted. Oh God, I've been addicted since junior year, so like 3 solid years.
What is it gonna take for you to stop?
So I stopped for a couple months. The problem is I do have anxiety, and I have like major stress.
That's what this girl that I used to be best friends with told me, and I tried for so long to get her to stop, and like she never did, and it annoyed me.
Yeah, like, it annoys a lot of people, because it's hard to understand when you don't do it. Like when I didn't do it, I'm like, I would never do cigarettes. I would never vape. Like, ew, that's disgusting. But like, when you get into it, if you have anything stressful in your life, you immediately think, I need to go hit my vape. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I quit for like a month. And it took a lot. It took my ex-boyfriend now. He was home for a week, and he was like, I threw my vape out the window because I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because like, I'm sick of buying pods. I'm sick of like.
Costs a lot of money.
Exactly. It costs a lot of money. And I was just like, I'm destroying my body. So I threw it out the window, and I had to stay with him for the whole week, because it takes 7 days to break a habit, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I stayed with him the whole week, and I was good. But a big problem too, once I got to Texas Roadhouse, immediately started doing it again, because it's a big thing of like, not only stress and anxiety in my life, but it's also like who you're around.
Everybody does.
Everybody does it.
Yeah.
And like, especially the people I'm friends with, they're like, you want to go out back? And I was like, shoot, yeah, sure, why not? I go out back, they all whip out a vape. I'm like,
I think I'm probably the only person there that doesn't do it.
oh, 100%.
I think that's crazy because there's so many people that work there.
Layla and Juan don't. I know they don't because, like, they've never asked to hit it or anything.
Right. But I know Juan does. I've had conversations with Juan. He's like, I'm like, I won't do anything. He'll do like moderation. Like he won't like go over the top with
but he'll never. He's never off.
Yeah.
Like he's never asked to hit anyone's vape. Like I know he will never do that.
Right.
Which is smart. Like good for you. I wish I would have.
It's much easier to not do it. This is like most drugs. Like once you get into it,
done.
You're hooked. But like if you never do it, it's much easier to not get into it.
Yeah, especially when I have like the genetics to be a perfect alcoholic or a perfect drug addict. Yeah. Like this was just so simple and easy for me at the time, and now I'm just so stuck doing it and I hate it. I hate doing it and I wish I would have never done it. But it's hard to stop now.
You gotta have somebody to hold you accountable.
Exactly. And that's what he did, and we're broken up now, and like I have to hold myself accountable.
Yeah, I think that is the one thing.
I think God's really gonna help me because I'm gonna start praying on that as well. Because I've been praying about myself and others for a long time, but I think I'm gonna start praying about that because He made this body for me. He made it so I could run, so I could walk, so I could do things, and I shouldn't be destroying the body that He gave me. Yeah. So I'm really gonna ask for His help and His forgiveness because I'm like, please, I just don't want to be addicted to this anymore. Like I really don't. And like Zins, like a lot of people Zin now because Zins are like a good alternative instead of like inhaling something. It just goes in your mouth. Right. Which could give you
just eat a fucking mint.
Which could give what the fuck? Which could give you gum cancer, but it's better than having lung cancer. But I tried a Zyn and I threw up, so it's just
I wouldn't. I just don't like eat a mint. Like if you need something in your mouth, eat a mint. It's literally the exact same size and shape.
Gum really helps. Gum does help. I will say that gum really helps. It's just like the buzz that nicotine gives you is really. It's really hard to not want it.
Well, you asked me for gum. Like the first thing you said is, Colin, do you have any gum? Yeah. And here you are sitting right here. What's in your right hand right now?
My vape.
Exactly, guys. This is exactly what I'm saying. No. Because I'm gonna out you real quick. Okay, go ahead. Because I was standing right there. We were setting up, right? And I saw it in your right hand, and it planted the seeds in my head. I should bring this up. So I knew it, and you're like, oh, let me hide it. I don't give a fuck, but still, like at the same time, like,
it's embarrassing. It really is, because like a lot of people flaunt it, and they're like, oh, I'm smoking. Like that's how I was when I first started. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like so cool. I'm smoking. Like,
I can do tricks.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a trend. Oh my gosh, but like it's just embarrassing now. It truly is. Like it's not good for you.
It's not so embarrassing to the point where you've stopped doing it.
No.
Yeah. No. So it's
my physical urges have definitely overseen my mental issues, but
start taking cold showers every morning. That's what it basically resets your dopamine.
Sounds god awful.
For over a year now, every morning I take a cold shower for like 3 minutes. 3 or 4 minutes I take a cold shower.
And then do you turn it hot, or do you
get
out of the shower?
I get out of the shower, let my body warm up naturally.
That sounds awful.
It resets your, especially for people that are like addicted to something. If you're trying to stop, it resets your dopamine levels.
Does it really? It does. Scientifically?
People have done studies on this, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That just sounds awful.
You get used to it. It's not that bad. But it's like, it helps wake you up. It's good for like, blood circulation, and like it has a bunch of other, mental clarity, a bunch of other health benefits. But the number one thing is like it resets your dopamine levels. And when we live in a world that like constantly everything is dopamine. You're like, you look at your phone, or you're hitting your vape, or you're doing whatever. You're eating food. Like, everything is a dopamine rush. So that was part of the reason. And I don't know. It's kind of cool to tell people like, oh, I take cold showers. Like, I don't know. That wasn't the main reason.
I feel like a lot of people, especially women, will be like, that sounds god awful.
Yeah.
Hot showers are my life. Really.
I love a good hot shower, but I don't take many hot showers anymore.
That's insane. That's crazy.
I don't.
What time do you wake up?
So,
like, what's a like, especially for us, because we're in like a similar boat. Like, we're out of high school.
Right.
We don't go to college. We work.
Right. Yeah.
Like, what's a normal time to wake up? Because like, people, like, I know people who wake up at like 12 o'clock every day, but that doesn't feel normal.
Yeah, I would hate to do that. So I wake up, and I'm really trying to start waking up at like 6.
Ooh.
I wake up at like 8.
8? That's a good time. I woke up at 9 today.
But here's the thing though. I hate waking up at 8 because the day gets away from me so quick that, like, if I try and go to the gym in the morning, I go to the gym and, like, I enjoy going to the gym. I will take my time. I'll spend like 2 hours there. I will spend like 2 hours there.
Literally.
And so you wake up, it takes me like an hour and a half to get ready. Cause like, I wake up, take my shower. I got stuff to do. I want to make my bed. I have birds. I have 2 parakeets.
I haven't heard them. That's shocking.
Well, they're down in my room.
They're down in the basement.
Yeah. Do you want to meet them?
Sure, I'll meet them after this.
Okay. Yeah. And I have 2 fish, but that's not hard. But like, taking care of the birds is like, you have to do the food and whatever. And yeah, wake up, make my bed, brush my teeth, take my shower, do whatever else, and like eat. I have to eat. A lot of people like don't eat before they go to the gym. I have to have something in my stomach.
I would pass out.
Yeah, I don't know how people do it. I have to have something in my stomach. So I try and I eat something, and then like I go. But then by the time I'm there, it's like 9 or 10, and then by the time I'm out, it's like 12. And so that's your entire morning is gone at that point. So I it's hard for me to get out of bed. Even though I wake up at 8, and people are like, how the fuck you wake up at 8? Like, people
see, because that's normal. Like, especially for people at work, they wake up at like 12. And I'm like,
well, I was talking,
like, that feels weird. Like, that feels wrong. Like,
I was talking to Haley, and she was like, Colin, what time do you wake up? Because she knows, like, and I don't know if you know this, I'm so like strict with my health, and like,
I could tell that's literally why I said when I asked you, I was like, do you do anything? You were like, no. I was like, respect, like serious respect to you for that, because I'm working towards that right now, but like, I wish I was there. Yeah,
I'm so meticulous with my health and what I do and what I eat and everything. So she knows that, and she like makes fun of me for it, kinda, and it's like a joke or whatever. And she was like, what time do you wake up? I was like, 8, and she was like, how the fuck do you wake up at 8? And I'm like, it's just kind of normal for me. So people think I'm doing something like amazing by waking up at 8. Meanwhile, for me, it's like, if I wake up, it's not early enough. I need to be up at like 6, but I don't know why. That's just like so hard for me to do. I think part of that is I had to wake up at like 6 or 6:30 every day to go to school.
Exactly.
And I hated that. I hated that.
Because it was a chore.
Right.
You
so
never
now
wanted to go to
my
school.
brain is programmed for like waking up at that time is bad.
Yeah.
When
exactly.
Yeah.
I hate that though. That's really relatable. I hate that that's relatable, but it's true.
You're good. He's just. Oh, now he's gone. Okay. Anyways.
But yeah, no, that. It's just hard to find a balance with anything right now.
Everything is balance. Literally everything in life is a balance and a discipline, and like that is hard. Yeah. That is so hard.
Especially with society and how it is.
Yeah.
Like
everything is trying to pull you in so many different directions. There's so many different things.
A lot
you
of them
can't
are
like
sinful.
that no, that's very true. And I talked about that I have a separate channel. Time to plug my second channel. I have another channel where we do like vlogs and stuff, and we're gonna start doing other stuff. So go check that out. Um, anyways, I I talked about I do like these 10-minute like shorter videos instead of like longer form conversation. And so I was talking about distractions in life. And one of the things I talked about is how you go on Twitter and you can't go on Twitter and scroll a couple times without seeing porn. And you don't even look I wasn't even looking for it, and one day I just go on Twitter and the first thing that pops up is just this naked woman, and I'm like, why?
That's
Why is this
disgusting.
a lot? But it's pushed. The thing is, all this stuff is pushed. All the unhealthy food, all the porn, all the other stuff.
Death.
It's
There's a
poor.
lot of
It's
death on
there
Twitter
is a
too.
lot of death. Yeah.
Yeah.
All this stuff is pushed, and it makes you think: is there some sort of agenda against something?
Well, I think so. I mean, I think
And,
personally,
and I think there is, and I don't know how conspiracy minded you are, what you know about that stuff, but there's something going on where there's a certain group of people that don't want us to be healthy or happy or have a good relationship with our creator. I think that's very
because
clear.
they want to, I feel like they want to be the creator, if that makes any sense. They want to take away his power and
Yeah.
use it as their own. And
There's
honestly,
also a little devil worship involved.
I was going to say, I feel like the devil is talking through those people. The devil's working overtime right now,
Yeah.
especially in our world. Oh my gosh. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard not to fall into temptation like every single day.
Right.
And I still do. I try not to, but I do. And it's just, it's so difficult. It's like this world is really hard to live in when you want to live a certain way, like want
Yeah.
to live righteously and through God. It's really hard to live in this world,
Yeah.
especially when everything's geared. Like, I want to delete all my social media. I want to delete every single one. I already deleted TikTok because I had like a major addiction to TikTok. I
Yeah.
could not stop scrolling. So I deleted that, deleted Instagram for a little bit, but I had to DM someone, so I undeleted it. But like, it's just it's all pushed on you, like you said, and it's like, it's normal in society to have all these different like social medias. So like, if you don't have them, it feels weird because you're not with everybody else, you know? And I don't know, it's just a lot of distraction, like you said, and a lot of temptation, and I don't like it, but
Right.
it is what it is, I guess. I mean,
Yeah. Well, what do you think if you were tasked with controlling it? How do you think we would control it? What do you think the best way to do that would be?
control social media, or like,
I mean, just like the distractions in general.
if we were and social media like continued and everything like that.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's not going away, but there's got to be a way to limit and change it.
I feel honestly like so are you talking about limiting and changing social media, or are you talking about limiting distractions for yourself?
Well,
Because
I guess the easier question would be like, for yourself, what do you think is the best way to
I
do
would
it?
say go outside. Honestly, like, there's been studies, there is energy in the earth. Like, we come from the earth. Every part of our being
Oh
comes
my
from
gosh! Thank you. I've been saying this,
No,
and people think
really.
I'm weird when
No.
I go outside in the summer and I'm barefoot.
No, that's normal. You should do that. It
Grounding.
brings, exactly, it brings the energy to, you can, like, you might not feel it, but the energy is flowing through you. Like,
Yes.
there have been studies on like going barefoot and how it's good for you to get your feet in
Right.
the grass. Like, it's like a
Right.
normal, like what do you think Adam and Eve were doing? Do you think they had clothes?
Right.
No, they were all naked. Like,
Right.
like it's normal to go outside barefoot. It's good for you to go outside barefoot.
Yeah.
Like, just being outside, I feel like reading scripture, praying, music definitely helps. Music is also
Music is
depends on the music.
It does depend on the music.
Because some music is...
when we're talking about devil stuff. You ever see Playboy Cardi wearing the upside down cross, or like any of those guys?
I've seen Lil Nas X, his new video about Jesus, and that makes me want to throw up.
Or him twerking on the devil.
Oh my gosh!
When he did that,
and Doja Cat in her "Paint the Town Red" video,
yeah,
where she's like the devil, like
right, and everybody's like, there's this guy that used to work at Roadhouse. His name was Asher. And I love Asher. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I love him. And one day he's going to come back on the podcast. So I love Asher. But he was arguing with me that it's just a style. It's an aesthetic. They're just doing it because it's an act. They're doing it because it's cool, because it's the thing now.
It shouldn't be a thing.
And I was like, no, because they could push positive things if they wanted to. There's a reason
There's clear devil worship.
Right. There's clear devil worship, and there's a reason that they push negative things instead of positive things. There's a reason that they direct these things toward kids.
Exactly.
There's a reason that they're trying that in some schools they're teaching 10-year-old kids how to give blowjobs in schools. They're doing this in California. They're in a bunch of different states.
That's why people are homeschooling.
That is,
and I don't blame them.
And they have these books. They have these books in schools. And they're all over the country where parents are trying to get them removed it's literally like a cartoon book of like how to give a blowjob for like 10-year-olds, how to go down on another man for 10-year-olds. And it's like, why are we teaching this? Why are we trying to tell our kids how to have sex when they can't even consent to it?
Exactly.
And
it's not even legal.
And I probably shouldn't even be talking about this because God forbid somebody gets mad, YouTube, but it's something that's going on, and it's so clear that they're trying to push something.
And I support the LGBT plus community. I support them. Clearly, I'm a part of them. Like, I support it. Like, I'm not saying like I don't.
Right.
But pushing sexual identification, like,
right,
how they say there's multiple genders and everything like that. Okay, you believe what you want to believe, but we cannot push it on children. We can't, because there is a lot of cases where people follow the media at young ages and think, oh, I'm this, I'm that, and then they get the surgery to identify as such. And then they reverse it because they realize later on in life, oh shit, I made a mistake.
Right.
You can't be pushing this on children. They're too impressionable.
Right.
Like,
when you have all these celebrities talking, when you have Lil Nas X saying, I'm pregnant, you think all these kids aren't going to say, oh, that's cool. He did the song with Jack Harlow. I love them.
Literally.
Right.
Especially if like it's a teacher, like the point of school is to retain information. That's the whole point. And every kid knows that.
Right.
So like, you're clearly pushing a narrative on them that they're going to take into heart because they are impressionable and nobody knows what they're going to do with it. So, like, they could not use it. They could use it. Either way, it's not good for it to be pushed on anyone.
Right.
Like, there's just...
You're allowed to have your beliefs. You just shouldn't shove it down the throats of innocent children who don't know better.
Children is crazy. Like, we don't... I feel like personally, to children, nothing should be said about like relationships. Nothing should be said about sexuality. Nothing should be said about any of that because they don't even know what that is yet.
Right.
They haven't even experienced it. Sure, in high school, gauge like what a healthy relationship is, what you should do in a relationship. Yeah. Sure, sexual identity, if you want to display that, whatever, but that's especially when the mind is mature enough to take in the information and not replicate it.
Right. I can't imagine, and you're probably a grade below. Were you a grade below me? What year did you graduate?
I graduated 2023.
Okay, yeah. So you were I graduated 2022. So I can't imagine when I was in third grade or you were in second grade. I can't imagine I can't imagine my teacher
saying anything,
trying to teach me how to do this or do that, or like
what I should be like.
Right, what you should be, what you should do. I can't imagine that. And part of that is I went to private school, so they're not doing it in
Yeah.
private schools.
Oh my
But
gosh, John Carroll just had a scandal with that.
they did.
They
Do you know Concordia Prep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they had
Did you know about all the stuff that happened?
I do not.
Oh, they had sexual assault stuff, and it was
Well,
great.
John Carroll's scandal is they labeled a class as a regular course, whatever.
Right.
They were talking about LGBTQ issues in the course, but that was never identified as what they were going to speak about, and parents are pissed. And I understand why, because like if you label a class as a certain thing, it shouldn't be what it isn't. And like, sure, if you want to go into that class, be my guest, go ahead. Like, like learn like all that stuff with like the social stuff. But like, if you're a parent and you don't want your child knowing that, then that shouldn't be allowed.
Right.
And like a big thing for me is, I've been talking about it with a lot of people, is just like, I've always wanted kids. Always wanted kids, but like in this society, in this world, I don't know if I want one anymore. I really don't. Like I couldn't imagine putting a child through what we go through.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and I'm not saying we have it the worst. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started. Like there's people in the Congo, there's people in Gaza, like everywhere, like they are going through it so much worse than we are, and they're having issues, but like I couldn't imagine putting a child through like the social stress of what we have today.
Right.
It was like, because it's a lot less simple than what it used to be.
Yeah.
100%.
I can't imagine if today I would, instead of being 20, I was 10 and I was in elementary school and what's going on now in public schools across the country, I can't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah, exactly.
Like 10 years, you don't think that's a big difference? And then you look at what's happened in the past 10 years. And you're like, 2014 was so different than 2024.
Exactly. And I just don't think I'm willing to put a child through that. I think I'm all good. I think
I think that our calling is to procreate. And I think that no matter how hard it is, that is what we're supposed to do.
That's true.
And it's different, you being a woman and me being a man, because it's a lot easier to say that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's important that God tells us this is what we're supposed to do.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, it's just I would have to seek him. Truly, I would have to seek him before I make any sort of decision like that.
You have to have a kid with the right person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not only that, it's just like thinking about the times, like it's just hard to imagine putting a child through through the social stress of what's going on in this world today. Like I just couldn't. It literally exhausts me thinking about it. Like it's just, it sucks. Right. But at the end of the day, I know I'm gonna have children. It's just gonna be a hard decision, and I don't want to homeschool my children, because homeschooling is like I hate to say a huge no, but like people get made fun of for homeschooling, and they're like, oh, I know you're homeschooled, like blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I want my child to have that social interaction. I want my child to be in school. But like at this point, what other choice do I have than homeschooling? Like I understand private schools, but imagine in 10 years.
Right.
Imagine how much they're going to change and how much the rules are going to change.
And private schools is a money thing too.
Oh, 100%.
I am blessed that I was able to go to a private school. And my family doesn't even have money like that. Like, I was blessed by financial aid or whatever. And I think that's where I was supposed to go. I think that's, I think
that's where you were meant to be. Yeah.
Right. But, like, I can't imagine what my life would be like if I didn't go there. Like, I want to put my kids through private school if I can. But, like, that's a big thing.
It's a big financial grab.
And it's not getting cheaper.
It's getting more expensive.
Right, it's getting more expensive. It doesn't matter who the president is either. Like,
exactly.
People want to say that things are financially and economically, are they worse under Biden? 100%. But you can't sit here and tell me that under Trump that things are going to be like this as soon as he gets elected. You can't tell me that seriously.
Yeah, because you got to think about it. Our country, It is in financial ruin, just slightly.
Right.
Like, our inflation is awful, especially going in the real estate market. Like, I know all
Yeah.
about our inflation is terrible. And like all of our fees, everything, it's awful. But it's so messed up and so unruined. It's not going to be changed just overnight by one president. It's not. It's got
Right.
to be the people too.
Yeah.
And it's got to be legislation, like everything, like Congress, everything has to fall
Yeah.
into place for our country to be financially stable again.
Right.
And it's also a big issue of like, because we're not financially stable, other countries clearly know that, especially like
Right.
it's being broadcasted. All Americans are talking about it, especially
Right.
on like TikTok and stuff. Other
Yeah.
countries know we're in financial ruin, so they know, unfortunately, they know we're weak. And
Yeah.
they know we're having issues.
And they're
And
taking advantage of it, and that's what they're doing.
exactly. And that's a big issue right now as well.
Yeah.
Like the world is just it's just having so many issues, like, and
Yeah.
it's hard to ignore when it's shoved in your face every day.
Right.
Especially like, I don't even need to watch TikTok to know that our country has awful financial issues. Like, I go to the
Right.
store and things are
Right.
$2 more expensive than what they would
Right.
be.
Gas
Like,
is like $3.50.
oh my gosh, it was really close to 3. It was really close to like $2.99.
It just jumped up. It jumped up. I saw it was like $3, and then the next day I'm driving to work, and I drive right past that Wawa, and nope, it's fucking $3.50. I'm like, damn.
It's just so unfortunate. Like, it sucks.
Yeah.
But
It's
I think
how much longer you
I
have?
think I gotta get going.
You gotta get going. Well, you do have work suits, and you have to
Yeah,
get to Burger
I
King.
have to get my Burger King.
You have
I'm
to-
very hungry.
No matter how much that might disappoint me, you have to get your burger.
I do. Why is it disappointing? Because it's bad for me.
Yeah. So, well, I eat all organic, all natural. My beef is grass fed.
Good for you.
My eggs are pasture raised, and I don't settle for anything less.
Good for you.
So,
Yeah,
and I've been
no.
doing that for a couple years now,
Good for you.
and I feel great.
Yeah,
I
I
actually,
bet you
it's
do.
crazy that I lost weight because I stopped eating all the shit, and I was already like I was a skinny kid. I've always been like athletic and muscular, but I was just like a slimmer kid, right? And so at that point, I wasn't even really going to the gym like that. So I just like lost weight. And now I'm trying to like gain weight back, and it's like
That's difficult.
it's so hard
It's
when
difficult.
you're like already like slimmer, and then you start eating really healthy and you're like, "Oh, I feel great cuz I'm eating healthy." And then
I swear,
Yeah.
like, especially like men's metabolisms, if you are a slimmer man, because there are a
Yeah.
lot of slim men out there, your metabolism runs so freaking fast.
yeah.
You could eat, especially if you're eating well, you could eat anything and you would barely gain any weight.
Right.
Like, it's and then you got to go into the supplements and the protein
Right.
supplements and the mass gainers, and
Yeah.
like, it's just, it's crazy.
I'm
It's
like
crazy.
people are like, "You need to eat more." And I'm like, I'm eating until I'm full.
Yeah.
I don't want to force myself to do
Exactly.
this, but like I don't
Because
want to
then eating becomes a chore, and you don't want it to become that.
Right.
But all the crap that is in
Right.
like fast food and stuff,
Yeah.
yeah, no, that'll definitely fatten you up. That'll definitely clog your arteries. But I love it so much.
As
And
you're about to go get
it's
Burger
hard
King.
because I also like, I have a very fast paced lifestyle, and I don't meal plan, which would really help. Like, meal prep would
I
really,
meal
really
prep
help.
all the time.
Meal prep would really help me. I just
Yeah.
don't have the money, and I know I would be the only one paying for it.
Yeah.
So a quick $8 meal, and I can get it on my way to work or on my way home before I get ready for work. So easy.
People have done stuff where buying food at the grocery store, even if it isn't all organic, like mine is and whatever, it is cheaper than going and getting fast food.
Yeah,
So,
it's just hard to see.
please
Like,
do it.
it's hard. If I didn't see the numbers, I wouldn't believe it, because
Yeah.
it's like an $8 meal. Like,
yeah.
it's hard to see like the mass that I would spend a meal prep, compared to like the little small like $8 meal that I would get, because I actually don't eat fast food a lot. I actually cut it out a while ago, but I get it maybe like twice a week if I'm lucky.
That's a lot. Twice a week. And I know coming from me is, but like still,
I mean, for a lot of people nowadays, twice a week isn't that much. People feed their kids McDonald's every night.
You see the type of people that walk into Texas Roadhouse?
They can't. Like, I had a person who they couldn't fit in the booth.
Yeah. I remember this one woman was complaining. This one, not to me, and we'll wrap this up after this. But this woman was complaining, and she was complaining that her booths were too small because she couldn't fit. And we were like, okay,
that's as big as we can
I don't know
man.
what to say to you, but like maybe get on a bike, eat a banana, like
eat a banana is
don't go
crazy.
Don't go out to eat all the time.
If you don't fit in the booth, you won't fit in one of our regular chairs. So where are you supposed to go?
Right. Well.
How'd you get in the car? Sorry.
And people are saying, oh, the chairs are so uncomfortable. You got a lot of fucking cushion. You got a lot of cushion. All right.
That's for damn sure.
Damn sure.
Lovers Lane is such an issue because they put some big people in Lovers Lane and they can't fit.
Right.
And literally, I try to put their food in front of them, and like their belly's touching the plate. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so.
It's disgusting. It's
so
like
embarrassing for me because I don't want to hit your belly. Like,
right. I don't want to touch you.
But like. What else am I supposed to do?
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, do you have a message for the people?
A message for the people.
A message for the people.
Pray. Pray and read God's word. It's good for you, I promise. Even in this society, it doesn't seem like it's good, but it's good for you. It'll help you. I promise.
All right. I love that message, and I love this, and this was great. So
this was great.
Dahlia,
thank you, Colin.
Thank you so much, and I'll see you at work.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Ladies and gentlemen, check out one of the other videos on the screen or any of the other stuff that I put up there. I'm not great at plugging stuff because like I really don't care that much, but I should start plugging stuff. So go watch one of the other things. And this has been the Collective Consciousness Show, episode number 38. I'll catch you guys on the next one.